Hey y'all. Thank you for having me. I went home and told so many people. Now, I immediately forgot what you taught me, but I do have a rendition. Like I have my own that you definitely need to correct. But that was really fun. That was really fun. Like, and that's like how I am of like, teach, what are y'all doing? A line dance? What is that? What is that? And like you were like, okay, like it's a party. I don't know if I need to give instructions, but I was like, right now, I gotta get this. And it was so fun. Hmm. Yeah. I did. I did. I'm huge with like cutesy little names. And before I had a really long name for my business, but I also like didn't really have like a niche or anything. Like I wasn't too targeted. I was just all fitness. And so then like trying to target who I wanted, and I was like, I want athletes. And then I was like, like it was very just like, oh, like, and then I didn't know it was gonna appeal to people. Like I didn't think people were really gonna say it, but people call me Ashlete instead of Ashley. And it's so cute because I'm like, oh, like you're saying the whole business name, but it's really catchy and like it literally, I no thought was put into it. Like, absolutely none. Yeah, absolutely none. All the ones I was thinking just kept coming out super long and phrases, and I was like, this is catchy, but it's too many words. And then boop, it was like Ashley, like duh, your name. See, it gets you. Sure. Sure. So Ashlete started approximately 2-ish years ago. And we are a fitness company who prides ourselves on consistency, dedication, and grit. Those are our three values. That's what we believe. And our whole thing is that anybody can ultimately be an athlete, right? You only need those three things: consistency, continuously coming in the gym, setting goals for yourself and trying every day, your dedication, putting forth that effort, and then the grit, right? Pushing through that hard behind workout, abiding by your meal plans, like, and that makes you one. Like a lot of people think you need to be a professional athlete, like, oh, I've never competed in anything, and I'm like, did you play a high school sport? Like, were you athletic in middle school? And they're like, yeah, and I'm like, you count, like, it's not that deep, but like we see athletes and we're like, wow, they must do so much other things that we don't, and I'm like, nope, they're consistent, they're dedicated, and they have grit. They just take it to the next level. So my like Ashley really encompasses everybody can be it. You're one right now, you may not realize it, but I think you're one. So it's that whole thing of like, no, I see it in you even before you do. So yes, yes. So one-on-ones, I do group fitness, also nutrition guides and plans. I do cupping therapy and massages as well. So being in recovery, and just kind of like trying out every little other thing too around fitness. But yep, I like to do everything my brother did. So whatever sport, and my mom was really big on like extracurricular and keeping you busy and finding out what you were interested in first. So you got to test out little sports, and whatever he played, I was like, let's do it. Let's do it. And he would literally be like, it's an all boys team. And like, this is just for boys. And I'm like, I hear you, but like, I'm gonna practice like when I get home. Like, and he still like supported that. Like he would come home and want to practice whatever sport he was in. He'd be like, let's go. Like, you need to be better. You gotta get better. Like, you're a girl, you have to be better. And so I just saw it as like, yeah, you can try anything and you gotta be super, super better and you gotta practice. So I was really into gymnastics. I was a cheerleader in high school at one point, and basketball and track and field. Like if I was outside and moving, I was like, let's do it. Like, let's do it. Why not? And even if I didn't take it to that like super competitive level outside of school, it was just like that was a part of my daily routine. Was I had some type of practice out like after school. Like you didn't just go to school and go home. What extracurricular are you in? Like, what are you doing, Ash? Like, everybody in the family was like, what sport are you in? Like, you should be doing something, and we're going to come to that game, so you better be practicing. And so it was like just regular, like, you should be active. So it was super easy to stay active. I probably didn't stop sports until college. And then I was like super academic because I was like, oh my gosh, it's college. I have to take this serious. I was a political science and English major. So I was double majoring and I was like super involved on campus still and super active. But like I never had time to go work out. And that's actually like where I started losing a lot of weight. So like in college, they anticipate you're going to gain your freshman 15. And I did the opposite. So like when I'm stressed, I don't want to eat. I'm like, I'm stressed right now. Ew, food. So I like would not eat. I'm cramming, like I had a terrible eating habit of just like, okay, one meal a day and like, it's okay. I'll make it. And so like, I'm stressed. And I like probably weighed like 90 pounds when I like graduated and came home, and I'm already short and small. So like, I was super frail and little. And my mom's like, what happened? And I'm like, I graduated. What do you mean? Like I made it, Mom. And she's like, yeah, but like, you're not healthy. And I'm like, well, I'm not fat, so like, what do you mean? And everybody's like, well, you're kind of right. But like being underweight is kind of a thing people don't really get because they're like, well, you're not over, so you look okay, I guess. Like maybe eat some more. And so that kind of started like, okay, healthy eating and healthy carbs and healthy fats, because like it's really hard to gain muscle, like you can gain unhealthy weight. But like that started my like whole journey of like, all right, I got to put this weight back on in a healthy way. So yeah. Yeah. hmm Definitely. They were athletes in high school. My cousins and aunts were athletes, and there were pictures in my grandma's house of them playing softball. And so it was just literally the next best thing to do. Yeah, you just saw it and was like, I think I want to try softball because I saw your picture when you were in eighth grade, Mom. And sure, let's sign you up. And everything had like a little time limit, like even if you didn't like that sport, give it 6 months, give it to that semester's over, try it for this amount of time because you're still going to learn some skills, right? I don't want you to just quit and drop it. You may not like it, but you're going to get a lesson out of whatever sport that was. You don't have to do it again, but let's try it for right now. You tell me you don't like it at the end of the year. Let's try something else. So, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. 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 Yes. Yes. So in college, in that atmosphere, everybody's struggling in their own way, right? So my struggle was like, I'm stressing because I need to make these grades and I got to graduate early, right? And everybody else has their own little ones. And not to say that they're not paying attention, but you all show up at 8 a.m. just as stressed out, just as going through the motions. So they're not necessarily seeing, oh, you've lost weight. Like you've seen me every day. We've been in the library crying together. So you're not really paying attention, right? It took coming home and then everybody being like, I haven't seen you in a couple months. And they're like, hey, your ribs are showing. And I'm like, oh, like I wasn't paying attention to that. Like I was trying to make it to class. Like I ate, I think, maybe, so you don't really recognize it until somebody else who's not in it is like, have you eaten today? Like your friends are coming in like, I haven't eaten today. Here's half my pizza. So like you're in it. It takes somebody not being in it to be like, hey, look, I've seen you with cheeks before. I need your cheeks back. So, yeah. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. I graduated in 2017, went home, took a year off, and then went back to school, but online, and got two master's degrees. Again, not in this field, but yes. And so while I was doing those master degrees, I started training part time just on the side because I was just like, I really like this. Like, and I had started working out. So I started putting back on my weight. People started noticing, and people were like, could you train me? And I'm like, heck yeah, come to my gym and work out with me. So I started doing that kind of on the side because people were like, I will pay you money. And I'm like, to work out with you? Like, of course, like, sure. So I was only doing that like here and there, and maybe every other day, Mondays and Wednesdays, and kind of just doing it on the side until I was like, okay, I'm going to graduate with these master degrees. I'm working full time, public administration and nonprofit management. Right. So I was like, I'm working in this field. I kind of want to stay in it, but I also really love fitness right now and it's really growing. And so I kind of like took a step back and was like, I'm still gonna shelf Ashley right now. I'll keep it small, like I'll keep it kind of under wraps. And then I started teaching, right? So I was a high school teacher, right? Nuts. English, yearbook journalism, and AP Lang. It was a blast. I had a great time. Mentally exhausting. So I went right back to losing weight again. Exactly. Like, because it was that taxing. Now, granted, I still was on my eating schedule, but just teaching and throughout the day, you're literally not able to eat that meal where you would at 2 p.m. because you're teaching a class. Like, you're just up moving. So that kind of started sneaking back up. And I'm like, oh, no, no, no. Like, we're not doing this twice. Like, I have to, I have to get it together. Right. Again, you don't see it. Yeah. You can't see everything when you're doing it. You're doing it. It's you. So I was like, all right, this is a little much. And so again, I took a pause and I was like, I'm now up to like 10 clients and online people and people want merchandise. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is going crazy. And so I was like, you know what? Why not? Like let's take a pause. And at the time I was in my PhD program for curriculum and instruction. And I was like, I'm going to take a pause right here before I start going crazy in another round of school. Let's try Ashley. Let's put 100% into Ashley and see where it goes. If it doesn't, we can go back. So it was like November-ish. And I remember I was training at a gym with my clients. And I was literally like flunking out. I have never flunked out of anything, right? So I'm like, yeah, I was like, what is how does this work? And I'm like at the gym on my laptop in the middle of like a Zoom class trying to like teach them. And I was just like I just was like, I can't, right? And one of the owner of the gym, actually, the owner of Film Tampa, goes, okay, well, just stop. And I'm like, I can't, like I have so much on my plate. And she's like, well, prioritize what you want. If you want Ashley right now, do Ashley. If you want your PhD right now, do that. And she goes, but you're only 25, 26. Yeah, she's like, if you want a PhD, it'll come back to you. And I was like, boop, you're so right. Literally dropped it. Literally dropped it. And of course, it's the scariest thing I've ever done because I'm like, I don't stop school. I finished school. So I was like, nope, let's try Ashley. You can always go back to school. It's always there. I was like, but Ashley might not be, right? The atmosphere for Ashley right now may not be here in another 5 years. So let's start it and keep it going and let's see where it goes. And then you always know what you can go back to. So that was like a huge thing. And then boom, here we are. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. Yep. Yep. Definitely. I would say it's definitely the fear of unknowing, right? Because I'm a huge risk taker, but I also love calculated risk and I make backup plans and I'm really big at, if this doesn't work, that's fine. Plan B is on the way already. But with entrepreneurship, you have no idea. There is no, oh, I can count on this next thing of the next thing because that's everything. Like you're constantly building a plan. Maybe this works, but I need to start another one. Like and not knowing where your business is going to be in 6 months, you're like, then how do I know if I should start it? You don't. Like, you just don't. So you have to jump in and be like, hey, in 6 months, I'm going to keep going. Like, that's my goal every 6 months is like, I see Ashleigh growing again. Like, if you start trying to, like, do too much of like, if we don't have a 5% increase in sales, then we're not successful. Then your business is now, like fizzling in front of you. Nope, it's growth. It's I'm meeting more people every month. I should be doing something different next month. I should be trying something else. I should be literally passing out business cards in a place I wasn't passing out business card. I should be adding a QR code on here. Everything should be gradually getting better instead of that strict like it should be this and this in 6 months or not. Actually, it's done. Like it really takes off those blinders of like, no, everything is progress. Every little small piece is progress. Don't be scared. Everything is okay. Every day you're fine. So it was that like fear. And then once you get rid of that, it's like, oh, today I wake up and it's another day of what can I create and do and post and make. And that's it. Yep. And it keeps working. Like that's like you have to just kind of redo your brain because we're taught of like, oh snap, if you just got a B or a C on a test, I can always be doing better and I should have gotten an A, right? In entrepreneurship, everything's kind of like a ambiguous grade and you're like, so did that work or not? And you're like, well, let's keep tweaking and keep going and it's fine and we'll be better next year because that's the whole goal. So yeah. Hmm. Yeah. I would say that's very valid. And do not listen to anyone who says, like, let that go. You should just walk out and just yeah, no. People still have to pay bills and people still have to live. So I would definitely say do what you're comfortable with. Okay. Again, I said I love risk taking, but I love calculated risk. I love at least kind of seeing where it could potentially go before I launch and do it. I'm still probably going to do it, but I've already kind of calculated where I could fall, right? So do that. I was working full time when I started Ashley. When I was leaving teaching, I was, saving as much as possible. Do what literally works for you. Like I was single and by myself. Other people who are in relationships, their financial bucket looks different than mine, right? So they may be able to be cushioned and have the space to, hey, I can do full time this and run. But it's expenses every single day, right? You're coming out of pocket. It's your money. You are now a full time entrepreneur. So it's yours. Okay, you don't have that PTO, you don't have that, that's the reality. So with knowing that, be okay with being like, okay, well, I have to work part-time a little bit longer than I thought before I can say I'm done. Sure. Schedule out how long you think you can go. Write down a little plan. Find you some side gigs if you want to leave that one gig and still make it work for you. Like never feel like, oh crap, I'm still at this job and I should be an entrepreneur by now. Nope, it'll work when it's supposed to work and when you're comfortable. So you'll never have enough capital. Like you'll never have that enough amount, right? Where you're like, my nest egg has made it, I'm leaving because life happens and then you're going to need an oil change that turns into like a combustible engine that just like you never know. So be okay with not being okay, but still do what's right and comfortable for you in your pockets. Always. Always. Yeah. Thank you. Hmm. For me, I was really big on social media as far as creating my own audience there. So I already had my own personal Instagram and was promoting Ashleigh from there originally. And then I was like, you know what? I want to have an authentic base. Like, so I created a page and I literally from like zero just literally started finding people I did not know, right? So usually you build your page by following the people from your last page, following friends, following associates. That makes sense. I decided no, because those people support you, but sometimes they support you because they just like you. You know, like, like they're just like, you're cute, Ash, it's you. But they're not necessarily there for your mission and your purpose and your business. And that's okay. But you want that, right? You want a base that is there for that are checking in continuously for you and for Ashleigh. And what did you work out today? Like, you want that because you want those people engaging. You want those people commenting. You want those people tagging you on their posts and saying, Ash, I did the lunges you did yesterday, right? So I was like from zero. And I literally would just hashtag hop and do Tampa trainer and Tampa workouts and home workouts, right? Starting with stuff I was actually doing because COVID had hit. So we were all outdoors doing random backyard stuff. Nobody knew what was really going on. We wanted to get back in our gyms. So I was following those people. And those people are the ones who watch your video and they respond and they're like, good morning. I see you're back at it. Keep it up, Ash. And they're in like Ohio, you know, but like that's what taught me, oh, those people are for real. Those people repost you. Those people send your stuff to their friends. And that's what really started it. I also was powerlifting and had my first competition. And so people watching that process of me just continuously working out and being like, week 3, y'all, here we go again. People were invested in, okay, well, where's she going to do? Where's she going to take this? Like, competitions in 2 more weeks. I can't wait to see her. And that built, you know, another audience of people who were like, heck yeah, we support your competition. Let's do it. They're in Wisconsin. You know, like these people aren't here, but they're exactly. And so when you see that, because you get kind of bent up on like, well, the people right here aren't reposting and aren't sharing. Like, oh crap. Well, the people outside are. And if you focus on who is instead of who isn't, those people start growing. You know, when you focus on who's actually investing in you, you don't really worry about who's not. You don't really see, oh crap, I haven't gotten 27 views like I did last week. It's only 19. You're like, yep, 19 views, 3 more people liked it. Like you don't see the negative aspect because you're so focused on, wow, people are supporting me. And so that's what I poured into. I literally started unfollowing really like super famous fitness influencers, right? Not because I didn't like them, but because I was so into their numbers and seeing, you just got 3 million views on that post. Do I need to use that sound? Do I need to make the template like that? Do I need to? And I'm like, Ashleigh, they built that over how long? You know, like I'm comparing my right now 6 weeks into a small business to their multi-million business that they started when they were 18, you know? So I let that go and started only seeing people who were building like me and starting like me and working out like I was and training the same way. And then that started growing. And then you get people who were interested, right? Who are like, can you teach me the thing you did yesterday? And it grows, right? You just literally have to pour into the people who are pouring into you. Mm-hmm. Right. Right. Mm-hmm. I don't know because time is so funny to me, right? So like, it could probably be a year ago. I don't. I love endorphins. I feel like I've been here forever. Yeah, so endorphins, I think I reached out for a media day. And it may have been like their second media day that they were having. And I just saw like their cute little ad and was like, okay, they're in University Mall. And since I'm from Tampa, I was like, I gotta be nosy and see what's in University Mall. So I was like, oh my gosh, they're building a studio. So that blew my mind. I was like, oh, this is awesome. And then meeting everybody, they were so sweet and everybody was just so encouraging. I probably cried like 3 times on my first day. I'm a huge crier. It only takes like 2 compliments. It takes 2 compliments and I'm like, stop y'all. But no, they were really like just into what I wanted. And growing your business on your own, you do everything yourself, right? You're your marketer, you're your PR team, you're making the flyers, you're doing everything whether you know how to do it or not, okay? It could be a trash job, but you still have to do it. So when Endorphins is like, oh no, we want to take all that weight off your shoulders, you're like, are you serious? You know, like, yeah, like, wait, you're gonna do everything? Like, wait, you're gonna record me and there's gonna be sound? Like, I'm like, I never can get both of those things to work. It's like, you're freaking out because you're like, so that means I just have time to train and promote my work and get more clients. Like, so seeing somebody who's really, or an organization who's just behind, like, tell us what you need. Tell us what you need. Tell us what you need. That's a great idea. Let's do it. When are you available? I'm like, y'all, please, like, this is too overwhelming. This is perfect. So, like, yeah, I think maybe a year probably has been less, but we've done so much, from media days to their ambassador program to what's your superhero and your super strength. And I think my superpower was a connector. I think I was the connector. Yeah. I was like, I love connecting people. Right there. Immediately. I was like, are you a teacher? But yeah, endorphins, again, back to the people who pour into you, right? So once they offer that and so, hey, we're going to let you in the loop if we come across something. I'm like, any organization that's willing to put your business in a name where you could make more money is always a great business, right? Somebody who's going to be like, we thought of you. Hey, Ash, are you available for this? Wow. Like, because you don't have to. You don't have to. You guys are already endorphins, you know, like, you don't need me. So it's like, wow, seeing that and seeing that they continuously do that and they're always in the know and in the mix and passing you some stuff and having events and inviting other people so that you can network and mix. It's like, this is a dream come true. Is this real life? Like, is this real? It really is. It really is. So I'm so thankful. Like, especially once I got endorphins, like, social media took off for me because I didn't have to stress about all the stuff I was doing. They're like, here's your content. We made a little package for you. Here you go. And I'm like, I just have to work out now. Right. I have so many things in mind, but I try to stay focused in my brain, which is really hard. But I would love to open a gym, right? Some type of studio, but I see that in like the distance. Up until then, I just want to grow Ashleigh as far as clientele, and that doesn't mean I want to have 100 clients, right? I want to have enough clientele that they are referring other clientele. Well, I feel like once you make it off referrals, you've made it, you know, like, your business is solid because you're not consistently out spending to get more people, right? So would love to build that. Would love to keep being certified in random things. I'm always interested in more health and wellness things. So I probably would end up becoming an LMT and doing massage therapy, because right now I just do cupping and seated massage therapy. So just growing like Ashleigh in all my little pockets before even opening a gym. So I'm like doing all these little mini projects and how to gain muscle and how to do this and how to, like, it doesn't stop in my brain. Like, every week I'm like, oh, new project, which I love because you can always go back to your other ones, you know? So Ashleigh's just going to keep popping and growing and, and doing whatever, that endorphins allows me to do, you know? Yes. No, at the time I am bulking and I think I want to transition into bodybuilding, right? From powerlifting to bodybuilding. And I possibly would want to do a show in 2023. I just want to bulk to my liking first, right? So I want to get to a size that I'm comfortable with and then start my training and prep process. Just because I have like my own mental body goal of like, I want to become this weight. And then once I hit that weight, I'm down with, you know, a bulk cut phase and extreme dieting and all that stuff. But yeah, probably bodybuilding next, because I'm so fascinated with how they train and the end result. I work out in a bodybuilding gym, so I'm like surrounded by it all the time. But I'm really interested because I've actually been like really invested into their process. And I'm like, you guys are so cool. But bodybuilding, I might return to powerlifting at some point. But nope, I'm enjoying the gym. And that's one thing I try to do is I take the gym serious and I start these goals, and I am now like tunnel vision. And then I start burning out, right? Which everyone does. You get to a point where you're like, do I really want to go to the gym today? You know, like, and not that that's exactly. And then you're like, wow, it's been 3 weeks. Like, and you're like, oh, ew, it's gonna hurt going back. And you know, that's another week. And I get like that's where I'm like, I went so hard that now I'm like, gross. The gym disgusts me. So I'm working on like finding that balance, you know, of like pushing yourself, but not burning out. Pushing yourself, knowing when to rest. And I haven't been to the gym in 3 days, and that's okay. I'll be right back and I'll have a nice routine. Like that's what I'm really focused on, because when I do start competition, you don't get that wiggle room. You know, like you don't get a chance and a thought of like, I'm gonna sleep in today. Like that can make or break winning. So I'm very serious there, and I'm like, you don't have to be that serious now, Ashleigh. It's just Tuesday. Like it's a regular Tuesday. You're fine. So yeah, Ashleigh's trying to take it slow. Mm-hmm. Right. Right. And I agree, and I feel like I'm still teaching all the time. You know, like as a trainer, your job is to be the teacher of the gym, right? And teaching people muscle movements and muscle groups and safety and stuff like that. So I feel like I'm still doing it and doing fitness. Like I'm like still feel like I'm in the classroom in a sense, and still like passionate about fitness. So I was like, this worked out. I'm so glad. I would like to say try new things. Don't be afraid. How else would I have met Nadia? Walk right up into that opportunity, and grab it by the hands in samba, you know. Uh, you, you just gotta go and do it. And that's with your business, that's with your health plan, that's with anything, you know, walk right up to it and try it. The only thing that can happen is you don't get it and you try it again and end up getting it. So I say do it, go for it. Go for it. Thank you for having me. This was so fun.